Stop waiting for the one and start dating like it's not forever. Hi, I'm Dasha, and what the hell am I talking about? Stop waiting for the one and start dating like it's not forever. Does this sound like a fuckboy thing for you? Well, it's not. I want to talk to you today about transpersonal dating. What the hell is transpersonal dating and why should you do it? So, transpersonal dating is a term that I've coined, and it comes from transpersonal. Like you're in the personal, you're in the ego, you're in the 3D, and then in the transpersonal, you're in the soul. So you're operating from the soul, you're living from the soul, and you're dating from the soul. How does that look? And what do I mean by stop waiting for the one and start dating like it's not forever? So, where do I begin? So, I've been experimenting with this by myself, and now I've been working with my clients around this subject as well, because a lot of people come to me trying to find the one. A lot of people are afraid of being alone. And oh my God, I'm so excited to be talking to you about all of this. Okay, so transpersonal dating is allowing your soul to choose the person for you, not your mind, not your ego, right? So you are not choosing the tall guy with the blue eyes or the that sexy lady with the big butt. Hear me out. So, why do I talk about this concept of stop waiting for the one and start dating like it's not forever? So, a lot of the time, who's been there? I used to date like this, and I used to put people on a pedestal because I would only connect with the people who were husband or boyfriend material. If they were not husband or boyfriend material, then I wouldn't even give them a second chance. If they didn't have the look, if they didn't have the height, if they didn't have the whatever, the job, I wouldn't even, oh my God, hello. Hello, we're freaking channeling. Yeah, if you've been watching my content, you know my nose is always getting itchy when I channel. I'm so excited. Okay, so we're always having this checklist, and then we kind of cut everyone out who's not that. Yeah. And you know that I teach in manifestation, write the list, let it go. Yeah. So I want you to have a list. I want you to have the list of the ideal, the one. But then I want you to start transpersonally dating. So, how does it work? It's a little bit harder, I think, in a grounded world. I travel a lot. So, for me, it's easy. I always have these micro connections and we go really deep and then we know it's going to end. And this is why I want to talk about stop waiting for the one and start dating like it's not forever. Because a lot of the time, people are like, I'm going to hold out. I'm going to hold out. Stop holding out and get out there and learn how to be with someone else. Learn how to communicate, learn how to deal with conflict, learn how to touch, learn how to make love. Prepare yourself to be the best version for you're the one, right? This is why I say stop waiting for the one and actually start taking action to prepare yourself for the one. And stop dating like it's forever. We had this conversation, me and this woman I'm dating, about like it not being forever, and she's like, but what's the point? Like I want to be dating for the person that I'm gonna be with. And the thing is, you want to stop dating people like it's gonna be forever. People just get in these relationships and then they're like, this is gonna be forever. And even when it's not working out, they're settling. And the biggest thing to knock us out of alignment is by settling for something that we don't want. And how do you find out? After a while, you connect with someone, you find out, oh, you're actually not the person. And then you let them go. But for some reason, we're dating like it's forever. And it's okay. Like, I think it's important. It's important to get into a committed relationship and be committed, but also understand that a lot of these, I'm an advocate for like these micro connections where you go really deep, you have your whatever triggers, traumas come up, you deal with them and you consciously uncouple, right? It's not like you blow up and you never talk to them again. It's like you transition into friendship because you realize, hey, we're not going to have a future together and that's okay. So this is a little bit revolutionary because a lot of people are like, no, you stay together, and then what happens is it just doesn't work out, and then it blows up, and then what happens? You break up anyway, but then now you're hating each other. But if you're dating like it's not forever, but not from like this fuck boy, fuck girl energy where you're just fucking and you're totally dissociated, totally disconnected. No, you're like fully in it. You're fully opening your heart. You're having the courage to open your heart to do the thing, but then also be okay if it doesn't work out and trust that it is preparing you for the one. Yeah. Does that make sense? I want to hear from you in the comments, right? And I want to share some like crazy things that I've done, right? That I wouldn't have done if I wasn't transpersonally dating, right? And with transpersonal dating, I'm going to have a whole masterclass on this. So all the information is below. It's only $33. You can join now. It's going to be epic. And it's my first time actually teaching this concept. I've been living it. I've been embodying it. I am having the most epic dating life. I went from like hating dating, being like so confused, hating the apps, just being so like sad, walking around being like, there's no good men out there, all men are assholes, to totally revolutionizing the way I date, the way I'm moving through the world. And now I'm not actually, I realize like I'm not actually quite ready for my husband. I am preparing myself. I am preparing myself to be the queen for the king. But there are a few things I need to tick off the bucket list. And I was in a deeply committed relationship with my soulmate. I thought we were going to be forever together forever, right? Um, but the thing is, there were so many things that I didn't actually explore, that I wasn't ready. And then I realized when we opened the relationship, there was a lot of places I was settling and I gave up fully on because of love and wanting to be loved and wanting to be chosen. And I truly believe that we have our perfect match out there. All we have to do is just stop settling and ask for exactly what we want, but also not being attached and also allowing the exploration and learning and growing phase. So, why I say stop waiting for the one and start dating like it's not forever is because sometimes people come into your life to teach you lessons, but they're not the one. And I realized at the beginning when people were coming into my life, I would just want to settle. I'm like, it's good enough. It's good enough. It's the best I've ever had. And the universe is like, girl, no, this is just your preparation, because the only way, like, you can only self-develop and grow to a certain amount solo. You actually need partnership and this kind of like triggering connection that you get to project all your inner child trauma and relating and attachment style. You can't do that alone, right? So this is why I say you need to stop waiting for the one and start getting out there and start dating, but like not dating where you're just fucking people and you're dissociated, but like you're actually opening your heart and putting your heart on the line to see what that's like. And yeah, it leads to heartbreak, and yeah, it's painful, but that's how you grow and that's how you learn and how you develop to be a better partner. It's actually not by never having a relationship. The more relationships you're in, the better partner you are, because you learn more about yourself. You learn more about them. And while you're in this micro connection, you're actually growing and learning together. It's not just like you're in it and then it just dies. It's also about you growing together. So, reading books on relationships, going to courses, to workshops, to seminars, right? So, join me for this epic masterclass. It's going to blow your freaking socks off. And yeah, I was going to show you some personal stories. So, when I first started to transpersonally date, it's all about using your body's wisdom. Yeah. Your heart wisdom, your soul wisdom, that intuition. And everything I teach is guided by this divine inspired intuitive guidance. So sometimes you might get this inspiration to go and talk to this person. Sometimes you are inspired to go and ask them on a date. Sometimes you are just naturally brought together and you just surrender. It's kind of like the surrender experiment, and you let go of the judgment. Because if I use my mind, I'll be like, oh no, I'm not going to give this person a chance. They're so not my type. And it's crazy how much everything changes when you open your heart and you start seeing people through their soul, not their exterior. So I had some mind-blowing experiences. Like, just really, one comes to mind, how I met my Shibari Dom. We just were like cuddling together, and it's a person I would never have gone to, but it just happened. And then the man that taught me the most beautiful lesson around polarity. This is when I was first diving into polarity. And then he ended up inviting me to Europe, and he lived in this beautiful house with couples that were doing polarity. And for him, I met his friend who's been doing it for 10 years and shared the most incredible success stories. And then he was like such a beautiful provider, and the dynamic we're in, I unlocked new parts of me that I never even knew I had, just by being in that dynamic of this devotion, this love, this domestic goddess, this service. I I was like, I want to have a baby with this person. And I was like, whoa, 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 who the hell am I? I've never had this thought, but it's like this energy of being held, so safe. And I wanted to settle in that moment. And you're just like, no, he's nowhere near the person you are manifesting. What are you doing? But it was the most exquisite experience I've ever had to that point in relating. And he was so not my type, but we did a practice at a retreat, and something drew me to him. And my intuition was like, go and connect with him. And he was so not my type. And he ended up giving me the most beautiful lesson ever, right? So it's about that. It's about putting yourself out there and allowing your heart to lead. And if you have more questions, put them in the chat, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. But I wanted to paint the picture of there is a different way. There is a different way to go about it, right? So many people are just like protecting their heart. I remember I was at this I was in Osho Center in Pune, and I experienced the most intense journey around heartbreak. But I also was able to experience the most healing journey through this whirling practice and all the other meditations, where I got to heal my heart and realize that no one can break our heart. We can only close it, we can only shut it down. And if we just keep it open, it's painful, but the heart is so powerful, it will heal itself, and eventually everything will be restored. The only way it's not is when we close it and when we suppress it, and then it just never gets to heal. And I remember I was going through that journey, and there was this open mic, and this woman got up and she shared that she closed her heart for 15 years. And everything in me dropped, because I was like, oh my God, thank you, universe, for showing me this lesson. This is why I'm so passionate about teaching it. Because imagine I closed my heart for 15 years, and so many people do. It's like they avoid this beautiful experience. And I always ask myself, I love this quote, like, would you have rather loved and lost or never loved? And a lot of people say, never loved, I don't want the pain, even if that's not true, but this is what you're communicating by not putting yourself out there. And I always say, I'd rather have loved. And I'm in this dynamic where I'm getting really attached to this beautiful man that I know is nowhere going to go anywhere. And I've been in this situation so many times. And I ask myself, because my parts are like, that's gotta hurt. I ask myself, is it worth it? And I know the more I fall in love, the more I open my heart. When I see him, that time is going to be so special. And then it's going to hurt a lot. But do I want to have the most peak experience? Or do I want to just have a mundane experience and then it's easy to get over? And you get to choose. And this is what we talk about in my mini course, High on Life. It's not about just having the best life, it's actually having the tools to deal with really scary, painful, traumatic experiences, and still being able to alchemize them and use them as life force energy to fuel you to be high on your own supply. So if you're interested in this conversation, I would love to invite you to dive deeper in our next masterclass. All the information is below. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share. If you think someone needs to see this video, please tag them. I'd love to hear your biggest takeaways. I love seeing your interactions in the comments. It means the world to me. You can see it's a new channel and every support matters. Thank you so much for watching. Big love.